officially closed on the cottage. I'm going to show you the whole thing today, as well as some of my Facebook Marketplace and Thrift finds that I have started furnishing this place with. I found some absolute steals. This beautiful floral couch that I'm sitting on is one of them, so I'll show you and tell you all about it. But what do you guys think? I think this is like a perfect podcast studio, right? It's great. I've been talking about wanting to start a podcast for, a separate place for all of my rants about random topics. I'm wanting to do that for a long time, and I think this is it. I'm really liking the vibe. Let's see, maybe just like move this over and see my cute little lamp. Fill those shelves back there. I've already got the books you see there. Those are all my like home birth and free birth and vaccine and controversy book, motherhood books. But I gotta bring some more books up, fill the shelves. But I like it. I can have my coffee. I don't know, maybe I could get like another little desk here, set my laptop. Try to be like Candace, kind of. Have my laptop, have my coffee, have my topics, and this is it. This will be the podcast studio. I don't know, we'll see. It is officially summer for us. We're finished homeschooling, so I have an extra 4 hours in my day that I don't have during the homeschool year. And I'll have that extra 4 hours until we start up again in September. That's like May, June, July, August. That's 4 months of extra time. So I think I can pull this off. Stay tuned. But today we're just gonna tour the cottage, and I'll tell you some of my ideas, some of my plans, show you the things that the previous owners left, and the new thrift finds that I have added just in the last few days since we closed. We closed just a couple days ago, so it's official. We own the cottage. I'm so excited. I love it more every time we come up here. It was a very quick thing that we weren't really looking to do. It just kind of came up, and we got to walk through it once, and we were in a major hurry. And we had to decide if we were going to put an offer on it. So, I knew I loved it, but I just didn't get to take my time to really take everything in. And then after we made an offer and they accepted and we were under contract, we only were able to come back up here one time since then. So I have just been itching to get in here and really take my time going through this place and just taking in all of the views and all of the beauty. And I'm so excited to share all of it with you guys. The couple who we bought the cottage from were so creative and thoughtful in every part of building these gardens and all of the touches that they put into this property. All of this was done by hand. You can tell with a lot of love and labor went into this beautiful little home. We have lived in our farmhouse for 7 years now, and we still have no landscaping because, that takes time and costs money, and that's just life. But now I'm kind of glad that we didn't put landscaping in down at the big farmhouse, because I'm getting so much inspiration from the beautiful gardens up here at the cottage. And I love that nothing is cookie cutter. The winding paths, the color, the beauty, the little touches, the stone walkways. This is what I want down at the farmhouse too. And I know that's gonna take a lot of time and thought. So now I have time to study all of the landscaping here at the cottage and just take lots of inspiration. I don't have a brown thumb, but I don't have a green thumb either. A lot of it for me is just ignorance. I just haven't spent much time, studying plants and landscaping. I have a vegetable garden, and I do pretty well with that. But that's pretty much the extent of my knowledge. So I am going to download the Picture This app, which is an app that I've had before. You guys probably know about it. You can just take your phone and take a picture of any tree or plant or anything, and it will tell you exactly what it is, tell you all about it, all about how to take care of it. And that, there's this landscaping is just there's a lot. And I don't know what all of it is. I'm sure a lot of you could help me and tell me what everything is down here. All right, we're gonna head inside so I can give you the full tour. But first, let's talk about something really important. The best way to avoid being exposed to toxins and harmful man-made chemicals is to just be outside all the time in nature. Just live outside. Well, that's not what I do, but that would be a great way to do it. That's just not the reality for most of us. Most of us do live in the modern world, so we do come into contact with harmful environmental toxins and man-made chemicals like PFAS or PFAS substances. You probably heard them called. Maybe you haven't heard of PFAS actually, but maybe you've heard the term forever chemicals. We're coming into contact with these things all the time, and it can cause a lot of anxiety when you hear things like that term, forever chemicals, like, oh, I'm exposed to this thing and then now it's like in my body and I'm never going to be able to get rid of it. Or maybe you guys have heard that, new babies, their umbilical cords are testing positive for, over 150 known environmental toxins that are harmful to the human body. That can cause a lot of anxiety. PFAS substances are man-made chemicals that have been in use for almost 100 years now, and they're found in everything from cookware to anything that's flame resistant or water resistant. It's the flame resistant and water resistant and grease resistant properties of these chemicals that makes them so attractive to use in different products, so that then you can advertise them as resistant to these things. They're not going to break down when they're exposed to heat or water or grease. But if you think about that, if that's true, then that's also true in the environment and in our body. So these PFAS chemicals, they don't break down naturally in the environment either when we get rid of them, or they don't break down easily or naturally in our body. And PFAS substances have been linked to everything from fertility problems to increased cancer risk, basically any inflammatory disease process. These things, when they accumulate in our body, they're causing major problems. If you are somewhat crunchy like me and you're making a lot of efforts to maybe use natural fibers or avoid harmful chemicals in your cookware or whatever, then you might actually be better off than you think. And I recently found out that I'm actually better off than I would have thought that I was, and it lowered my anxiety level. And I was able to find this out by taking a blood test to determine my PFAS exposure level. It was super simple. I went through Relentless Health and they mailed me a kit at home where I just used a little lancet, like the kind you use to check your blood sugar, to get a couple drops of blood and apply it to the little kit. I sealed it up, put my information on, mailed it off to their secure lab, and you can have your results in as little as 2 weeks. They're really easy to interpret. You just log into your account once you've activated your kit and sent it off, and then you can interpret your results right there. And what I love is they give you normal ranges, like low exposure, medium exposure, and high exposure ranges, and you actually get to compare that to the population in the United States, the general population, and kind of see where you fall on that spectrum. You can compare it. You can do that for men and women too. I was actually pleasantly surprised to see that I fall on the low end of the medium exposure. So I'd like to be in that low category, but the reality is I do live in the modern world, and I worked as a nurse for many years, exposed to a lot of things there that were outside of my control, but I was still pretty pleased to see that it just wasn't like super off the charts. And then that also gave me some direction, knowing that I need to focus on getting these things out of my body, these PFAS substances or forever chemicals out of my body. And that can be done. One, I'm not going to go into depth on how to do that, but one thing that you can do to bind these substances and get them out of your body is eat cruciferous vegetables. So yes, Grandma was right when she said eat her broccoli. If you guys are into crunchy stuff and you've never heard of Mary Ruddick, Just look her up here on YouTube. She is absolutely brilliant. And I think when she works with clients who have been exposed to a lot of environmental toxins, she recommends them to eat like 4 cups of broccoli a day during her protocol. So that's just one thing you can do. And I will be upping my broccoli game and then probably retesting in about a year because I'm making a lot of progress with my health. So I hope to see those numbers go down. If you guys want to see where you're at as far as PFAS exposure, you can order a test from relentlesshealth.com. I'll put that information in the description of this video, so just tap the more button. All right, let's go inside. It is pretty bare. I cannot wait to start filling this little cottage with all of my antiques. In fact, my husband is out on a Facebook Marketplace run right now, picking up a ton of stuff for me. I had a budget of like $500 that I wanted to stay within to get what I needed to at least get the living room and the main area of the cottage set up, and I was able to do that. So he's picking up all of the furniture for me. You know, he doesn't like doing that. I don't think guys like doing that, running furniture, Facebook Marketplace errands for their wives, but you know what he loves? He loves the fact that I got all the furniture for the living room for under $500, because, you know, if I were to buy new, it would be like $5,000 or more. So the cottage does not have a front door. The entrance is this little, I guess you would say mudroom, but it's a pretty fancy mudroom. Just cute little space. I've started putting a few of my antiques in here. So these little knickknacks, you see my lamps and stuff. I am just waiting until we get bigger pieces in the cottage to bring all of that in. So here we are. The previous owners did leave some area rugs and a few knickknacks here and there. So if you see yellow sticky notes like on the appliances or on little knickknacks, little art pieces, all those sticky notes just say stay, because those were the items that they wanted to stay. So this is just so charming. I love it. I love all of it. And all of this is custom woodworking that was done by the previous owner in the wood shop here on the property. So all of the built-in cabinets you see, the beams, the mantles, the parquet floor. There's a toddler knocking. This beautiful built-in piece on the wall back here. All of this was made by the previous owners, even the window panes, and a lot of the wood that he used, he got from this property. Okay, so this is the main living space of the cottage. We've got the living room here, which my husband is picking up all the furniture right now. So we're gonna have lots of thrifting videos coming up where I show you all my finds and how I furnish this place. And then little kitchen, dining room. There are 2 bedrooms on this main level. So let's go into the first bedroom. This is the big master bedroom. I will not be changing any paint colors or really doing anything that takes much effort at first, because time, energy, and money. So we just want to get, I want to get furniture in the main living area so that we can come up here, we can have friends up here. The bedrooms, you know, I actually have a couple of vintage, beautiful bed frames that have been in John's family for many generations that are sitting in our basement, and there are 2 bedrooms up here. So that's perfect because I've got 2 of them. So I'll get that set up as soon as I can, but otherwise I'm just gonna take my time. And this will give me an excuse to spend a lot of time thrifting this summer. And let's check out this first big bedroom. Okay, so this is a very big room. The bed will go on this wall. They did leave a very pretty old antique dresser here. Lots of little lamps on the wall, so many little touches. These window treatments, I absolutely love. I think they're beautiful. And then this piece here, this massive knockdown wardrobe, I cannot believe they left this. I was floored when we came in for the final walkthrough and this was still here, because that was not in the contract. That was going to stay. So whether they just didn't want to move it or decided that they were going to just bless us, I don't know, but this is a massive piece. It is a beautiful piece. I have a couple knockdown wardrobes in my home, but I've never seen one this big. And you guys have to see this on the inside. The previous owner, he actually built these drawers in this knockdown. very talented guy, talented woodworker. So this is truly a one-of-a-kind piece because not only is it massive and it's in great shape, but it's got this built-in dresser on the inside. So just very, very cool. Okay, and then the back part of the bedroom here is a little sitting area. She had it set up so cute. I wish I could have really taken my time going through and you know, getting video of how it was decorated before we purchased it, but that's okay. I will just have my work cut out for me to try to do the space justice. But you know, the views are just beautiful as well. I don't know, once again, I don't know if my camera's gonna do it justice, but looking out a window here, you can just look out into the hills, and this actually overlooks our farm. So the hills in the distance that you're looking at, that's our property. I guess this is all our property now, but yeah, just very, very cool to be able to add this on to the family farm. All right, looking out another window, and you can see, overlooking some farm buildings on this side as well. And that is actually a farm that belongs to my little guy's godparents. So we're kind of on all sides surrounded by either us or people that we know very, very well. Okay, there is a bathroom in this bedroom. Now this bathroom, it's kind of dated, but it's cute, it's clean. We will just leave it as is. There's a shower, a sink, a closet, and it's kind of funny how this is situated. So there's the bathroom. You might have noticed there's no toilet. That's because the toilet is actually over here in a separate little room. So there you have it. I think like married couples everywhere would appreciate this layout where the bathroom is broken up into 2 sections and the toilet's in its own section, because then, you know, you can like use the toilet in private while your spouse is getting ready or whatever. Okay, let's go look at the second bedroom. Back out in the main living area, down this other hall. Just look at these pieces that he built in, handmade. I mean, this is just the craftsmanship. And you know, he didn't spare any effort on the insides of these pieces as well. They're just beautiful. Okay, so let's go down this hallway. I would turn lights on for you guys, but the electric's off, and I don't know how to work things. And my husband doesn't want me to touch things when he's not around. So they did leave some pieces, some artwork, but this is just a little kind of sitting area in this hall connecting the main living area back to the second bedroom. Now this is a smaller room. Once again, they left the window treatments and just some knickknacks, a little bench, but smaller bedroom, but it's a good size room. Check out the closet in this bedroom. Once again, built-ins made by the previous owner. Just awesome. And the parquet floors, he made those as well, which I love. I've always loved parquet. The detail is just amazing. All right, let's check out this kitchen. It has a butcher block island with, you know, raised granite top here. So I have some bar stools that I'm having my husband pick up as well. Love the island. I love the contrast, the black on the white, and all the detail, the farmhouse sink, the plate rack. Oh, this is just beautiful. And to think that he made all of these cabinets here on the property. Pretty amazing. Lots of character. Just very, very neat features here. Little spinning spice rack. And then here, we look around the corner, this is a little pantry area, which I don't know, I have some really, really pretty fabric. I just thrifted, like heavy duty upholstery fabric, green floral, that I might make like a curtain and kind of just drape that curtain here. But cute little pantry. And once again, I'm sorry guys, I would turn the light on, but I just can't because the electric's off. So cute little pantry. Probably not gonna keep this place stocked with food because we won't be living here full time, but I'm definitely gonna keep snacks and like chips and salsa and that kind of stuff up here. You know, as far as what we're gonna use this place for, I don't totally know yet. I know we're not renting it out. It's too nice, in my opinion, to put renters in this house. All the custom elements that just can't be repaired if they're not taken care of. And renters just typically don't take care of things as well as if, you know, as the owners would. So we don't want renters in here. We definitely don't want short-term renters in here because this borders our personal property. And I just feel like that's maybe security or like privacy thing where we want our kids to be able to come up here. And if we were to do like an Airbnb type thing with short-term renters, I'm not opposed to that if this wouldn't be connecting to our personal property, if that makes sense. I know a lot of people do it and it's profitable and it's maybe even fun for them. We're just not gonna do that. So, you know, I don't know. I want this place to be a getaway where if John and I want to come up here on like Friday night and have a date night, stay the night or something, we can. Or, you know, my sister and her husband or just anybody in our family can use it as like a getaway. That would be great. But I'm actually going to be using this as like a studio space for filming recipes and photographing recipes and as an office space as well. When we, you know, first learned that the property was for sale, we knew that it was on 20 acres and we were very interested in the land portion of it. We didn't know anything about the house. So we wanted the land, but when we saw the house, I did have that idea. I'm like, ooh, I could put my computer and everything up here and I could use this as an office space. So that will be one use. Before we go downstairs, I want to show you guys the view from the back deck. So very, very pretty deck porch. Hi, honey. Hi, babies with some cute babies. These did not come with the house. They're mine. I brought them with me. So covered deck area. Definitely want to get some outdoor seating back here. There's covered and uncovered, but let's see if I can. Want some water? Hey, there's a bottled water in the fridge. Why don't you go get it? Go ahead, honey. You can have it. But let's just see if the camera will do the view any kind of justice. You know, where we live, we just have very pretty views everywhere. People don't know that there are pretty views to be seen in the Midwest, but there are, especially in the Ozark area. So the back deck here overlooks the beautiful gardens and the, you know, I guess you would say like a Spanish, Italian, European style little garden cottage there. So there is a little kitchenette down here. Very, very dated, as you can see. But you know, there's some potential. I don't know. I don't know if we will keep this area as a little kitchenette and try to make it cute. I just don't know. It could be another bedroom. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like we have to do anything down here now, but lots of potential. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of like fun little projects for me to work on because there's only so much thrifting that I can do up at my house before it starts just becoming junky. All right, there's also a living room down here in the basement. So it's looking very, very bare, but when it was furnished, it was a really, really cool space, dark and moody. A couple built-ins, built in over here on this wall and on this wall. Once again, I'm pretty sure he made all of these. And then there is a little bedroom that they left several things in down here. Cute little twin four poster bed. The previous Mrs. that lived here was an artist. And so this is one of the things that she painted and she left this for us. Not sure what we're gonna do with that space, although my boys are already asking if they can stay the night up here. They just think it's so cool. They want that downstairs living room to be like their sports room and use the big bookcase as their trophy case, which I'll probably let them because I don't have room for all of their trophies in my house. So they can make that their sports room. That is fine by me. In weeks to come, like I said, I will probably do a property tour. I did buy a drone, but I can't figure it out. I need to figure out how to set it up so I can show you the overview of the property and the ponds and how it connects to our farm and where it lays in relationship to our farmhouse and the plans we have to put a road in between here and there. I just think it'll be really cool to have the drone going, especially like as we put the road in. It's just going to be a very involved process, but there it is. There she is. There's the cottage in the pretty view in the gardens. And now I just wait for my husband to arrive with my marketplace finds. You know, they just don't make things like they used to. And that is true when it comes to furniture, decorations, art, homes, everything. Everything is fake these days. That's what we were talking about earlier when we were talking about PFAS substances. Everything's plastic and fake. And I am not a purist where every single thing that I own or bring into my home is like a natural fiber or perfectly natural. A lot of that's just because we're on a budget. Well, that's like all of it because we do have a budget. But I do make it a point, if I have the choice between something that is a natural fiber or more natural, then I do go with that. And when thrifting, that can actually be easier because people want new things. They don't want old things anymore, but it's actually the old things that are better for us a lot of times. If you can find, like on Facebook Marketplace, if you can find old, beautiful wool area rugs. I mean, wool is just amazing, an amazing natural fiber. Things that are furniture that's actual real wood. So this dining set that we're unloading here, this is solid oak. It is an Adirondack table that I looked up, and it if I were to buy that set new, it'd be like $3,400, but I got it for $500. So that's just one way to bring more natural materials and fibers into your life and into your home and reduce toxic exposure. It's to thrift things. It does take kind of an eye to know what you're looking for. You also have to be patient, but we talk a lot about that on this channel because we love our antiques. We love our thrift hauls. So I just bought this shampooer. It has an attachment for furniture and it does area rugs. I have a lot of area rugs down at the big house, and the rugs that were left by the previous owner, they definitely needed to be cleaned up, plus the rugs that I purchased from Facebook Marketplace. So the big one in the living room needed to be cleaned really badly. So check this out. That water is nasty, but it's also so satisfying to clean things and, see them come clean. So, I was thinking as I was cleaning all this stuff up, a great little side hustle would be, we've talked about this before, it would be furniture flipping, finding really nice pieces on Facebook Marketplace or thrifting, and then, flipping that for a profit. But also specifically focusing on area rugs. So I thought this area came together nicely. I had that tablecloth that I'd gotten for $9 at a thrift shop like several months back. The bar stools, the table, the living room. This living room set I got for $250. That includes the coffee tables and the couches. The couches are Broyhill. So this is like legit vintage Broyhill furniture. The base is solid wood. The coffee tables are solid wood. That is very difficult to find these days. When you go into a new furniture store, you're going to find mostly like composite plastic material that looks like wood. But anyway, it would be area rug. That what I was talking about was flipping area rugs. A lot of people just want to get rid of their rugs that originally cost a lot of money, and they don't want to clean them. So you could like take a Saturday and go pick up all the rugs you could find on Facebook Marketplace and clean them up and sell them for a profit. Okay, look at these chairs. These are Ethan Allen, and I put the price up for this style of chair. So these were like over $2,000 for the chairs and ottomans if I were to buy them new. These are in like new condition with custom upholstery, and I got them for $200. Both chairs, both ottomans, $200. They were listed for $300. I asked if she could come down to $2 because I did have a set budget for that day. I knew that the main furniture I wanted to purchase, I wanted to stay under $500, and that was the day that I had bought this living room set. So there's the tag, the Broyhill tag, and those chairs, and I wanted to stay under $500. So between the living room set, the area rug that you see here in the living room that was $80, and the chairs, I was able to do that. So that's another thing. Negotiate, set a budget when you're thrifting or furnishing your home, and stick to it. Okay, there was just a little preview of all my, not all, but many of my crunchy birth books. Okay, these cute little lamps were $28 at the thrift shop, but they were super solid. Like those little claw feet on them, I thought were really cute. Okay, just another look at this solid wood Adirondack table, solid bar stools, some more rugs that the previous owner had left. It is going to take me some time to furnish this entire place. I've got ideas for wallpaper and just lots of ideas, but it's going to take time. I'm not mad about that. I'm happy about that. This gives me like a year's worth of projects in, thrift hauls. So this is going to be fun. And I'm going to take you guys along for the whole thing. But this is all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the little cottage tour. And I'll see you all next week.